Hi, everybody. How are you? You're probably wondering. You're probably not wondering anything. Happy Halloween. Woo! I probably should be in my Halloween getup, but today I decided, hey, I'm lucky to be broadcasting at all because this is a big weekend. Halloween weekend. Yes. And you'll notice on my thumbnail, I'm talking about Disneyland raising the prices at Disneyland California Adventure again. Oh, Lord. And parking. Ay, 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 right? Ay, ay, ay. What are they thinking? Hi, everyone. I'm TERRI HARDIN, Walt Disney's legendary Imagineer, and you can find me here every Monday and every Friday. Fridays are Ask Me Anything Fridays, which means you can post in the comments a burning question that you may have about Imagineering, about designing. I've designed rides and attractions. Strike that, reverse it. I've designed attractions all over the world: Tokyo, Walt Disney World, Paris, and I am responsible for the dragon underneath, being the animated dragon. Let me say that properly. They were always going to have a dragon. I'm the one who pitched for it to be animated and worked on and did that attraction in Disneyland Paris, making Disneyland Paris's castle, slow down, Terry, breathe. It's a crazy weekend for me. Making Disneyland Paris the best castle of all the parks because it has a living, breathing dragon underneath. If you have questions about that, about being an Imagineer, I also did Ghostbusters, Men in Black, Jungle to Jungle, tons of movies, films, and television, worked with people like Michael Jackson and Elizabeth Taylor. And if you have questions about that, feel free to ask them in the comments over there. We're happy to have you. If it's your first time, welcome. Think of subscribing. This channel always has something different. I know for you expert YouTubers out there, you should probably stay on one subject. The one subject is me. And I am a woman of many facets. So if you want to learn about my life, or you just want to take a peek, or you want to see what I'm sculpting, or you want to see what I'm doing, this is the place to be. If you want to ask me what the heck is with you, or how did you start, or how did you do this, or I'm just beginning and I'm an artist and I really have a question about how can I do it in today's world, seriously, ask anything, okay? I'm married to the love of my life. It took a long time to get him, but I finally did. And we've been married over 15 years, but we've known each other for a very long time, since 1974, 5? Yeah, way before a lot of you were born, but it wasn't easy, okay? God is going to test you. And I fell in love with Lindsay, my husband, before he fell in love with me. We were really good friends, and I knew he was the man for me. But God had other plans. And I think what happened is God separated us for a while. And then 15 years later brought us back. We married, and we've been living happily ever after. So happy that I cannot remember how long we've been married. I have to kind of count on my fingers and toes because it's such a wonderful, beautiful life. And we have a little dog, and we're really, really happy. So all I can say is, if you want a happy marriage, what is my advice? Make it about your spouse. Yeah, you get up in the morning and you make tea for yourself, make it for him or her. And my husband, I think of my life as a ship, our lives as a ship. He handles the rudder and the course, and I run around raising sails. Okay, so thanks to him, he steadies the course so that I can do all this crazy, wild, artsy stuff that I do. And I do a lot of artsy stuff. Okay, so I'm always building, creating, and designing. And this is October. October is pumpkin month. Whoop! Halloween, my favorite holiday. Is it your favorite holiday? Let me know. What are you going as? Have you built your costume? Have you designed your costume? Are you a cosplayer? Tell me about you. I'd love to hear about you. Don't have a lot of time today. I have to get ready for a huge pumpkin sculpting class I am doing in Anaheim. If you go to terrihardin.com and you click on event schedule, if you think you would like to learn how to sculpt with me, it's $75. I will loan you my tools. I have picked the pumpkin out for you, and you sit and you sculpt with me, and you can spend the day if you like, and we'll tell you where after you sign up. It's non-refundable, so make sure you want to do it, but it's in Anaheim, not 5 miles from Disneyland. So if you happen to be planning a day in Anaheim to do downtown Disney or whatever, and you think pumpkin sculpting would be fine, and you get to take that pumpkin home and put it out in front of your house for Sunday, which is Halloween. So think about it. TerriHarden.com. In fact, I will go here and show you. There it is. TerriHarden.com. Just go here, click on event schedule, and you can find out all about it. This event is going to be a lot of fun. It's being put on by one of my Terry's Tribe members in Patreon. And to become part of Terry's Tribe, go to patreon.com/Terri Hardin. For as little as $5 a month, $60 a year, you have your own Facebook page. We have our private Facebook page. And I also broadcast Mondays and Fridays before seeing you publicly here. So if you want to check it out, this is where you check it out. This is where we get together and we share all kinds of stuff. We talk Disney. We talk, the other day we talked Dune. We got into this price thing, which is, we talked about this price thing and how, wow, why would they do such a thing? Right? I know this is what you're thinking. You're saying to yourself, hey, you know, right? Yeah, absolutely. You're kind of wondering if, I mean, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but aren't you wondering why they keep raising the prices as though, you know, it's like a slasher movie? You just, you know, and many of you have said that Disneyland is not even in your reach anymore. It's like going back and wanting to find it, but it's too expensive. And oh my gosh, and you become the scream, right? Which is why one of the questions I had last Friday was, what would you do if Disneyland was yours to fine tune, Terry? And I said I would bring back a pass where you could come and maybe not ride the rides, and then the rides were a la carte. So as you know, all the tickets include all the rides, and an annual pass includes all the rides and then other perks, correct? So what I would do is create a pass where you get to come in and enjoy the food, enjoy the shopping. I mean, what's not to love if you're Disney and people are going there simply to shop? Kind of a no-brainer, right? But in any case, that would be, you enjoy the food, you enjoy the atmosphere, you sit, you can watch the parades, you can meet your friends, you can have a Coke, you can listen to the guy who plays the piano, you can listen to the Dapper Dans. Is that what they're called? Dapper Dans? And you get to hear the carolers at Christmas if you do, you know what I mean? But it's a ticket that doesn't include the rides. Then if you're someone who wants to, you know, you may not love all the rides. Okay, you may go to Disneyland or California Adventure and say, you know, that ride isn't for me because I get motion sickness. Tower of Terror. I actually helped design the Tower of Terror, and I can't ride it because it makes me motion sick. So I wouldn't ride it. Even though I love Guardians of the Galaxy, yeah, I might go through the queue so I can see what they did for the queue, but then I'd take the chicken exit right into the gift shop and hang out, right? So I think this is a good idea, and I'm going to keep saying it because maybe, you know, Disney will be listening and consider doing a pass like that for you guys. Because then, you know, now part of you might be saying, but what if I have little kids? You know, they're not going to want to sit around and shop and da-da-da. Well, if the rides are a la carte, like the original ticket book was with Disneyland, you could pick and choose a couple of rides for your kids so that you can kind of fine tune and fit Disney into your budget a little bit. Could you ride every ride? Could you possibly ride Rise? Probably not. But what you could do with your little kids is take them on Dumbo or ride Mr. Toad's or do the carousel. And those would be something that the kids could enjoy that, you know, you say to your kids, look, we're going to sample a couple of rides. And then when you get bigger, we'll try to bring you back and do it again. That's my thinking. Okay, that's Terry's thinking. And I invite you to comment on that. What do you think about this? Because to continue to raise these prices, doesn't it kind of feel when you love Disney that you're being punched in the stomach? Because you love it and you really want to go, but you can't, you know. Many have said they've gone on to Knott's Berry Farm because Knott's Berry Farm is reasonable. And Knott's Berry Farm is a great place to meet your friends, and it's so cute, and they have boysenberry, everything, and what's not to love about that? But it's not Disney, is it? And for you Disney diehards, you may have to come up with something for yourselves. And if it's not in your budget, then you're going to have to be creative and create your own Disney experiences with you and your friends, which is very possible because you're all so creative. In fact, this class that I'm teaching tomorrow that teaches you pumpkin sculpting, the young lady who's hosting it is having pin trading, is having raffle prizes. She's Disneying out the whole event. It's going to be cool. It's going to be like her little mini Disneyland experience, complete with an Imagineer. So how clever, okay? But I understand how you feel. Boy, I understand how you feel. I mean, you may have to get to the point where you pull your car somewhere outside of the park to watch the fireworks because they can't keep the fireworks inside the park away from you, can they? So I'm sure there's vantage points that you could at least see the fireworks. Are you going to get the best seat in the house? No, but at least you don't have to pay exorbitant prices. But these are kind of the things you may have to resolve. You may have to resort to in order to see it if your budget doesn't have it. And it's not your fault. This is a very, very, very expensive park. And then let's talk about the keys. Let's talk about the magic key system. Where when we talked about the passes in a couple of earlier broadcasts, we were talking about what is it's most important to you. For me, it's parking. Because a lot of times I'm jumping in my car and spending just a few hours to see you at the park or near the park. So I want parking. I don't want to worry about parking. I don't want to deal with parking. So I purchased the top pass so that I get free parking. Well, now you saw they raised the price of the parking. So the second tier, can you imagine you're trying to decide if you have the ability to get the second tier from the top or the top. And parking is kind of meh for you maybe. Or you're thinking 50% is still pretty cool, right? And it does sound good until they start jacking up the parking price. So now your pass, if you guys start doing the math, your pass could be as pricey as the one that had free parking. And we didn't even really think about that. Okay, maybe you did, but I didn't. And wow, we who are at the top at that main pass, Dream Key, are, you know, but then they stopped. They said it's sold out. So even if you decided, hey, now I'm going to get the Dream Key, you can't. So honestly, guys, this is why I'm saying, I think in the case of Disneyland, now maybe it's not going to work with every park, okay? Maybe I think it would be something to consider for every park. People who want to come in and just shop, enjoy the food, and see all the pretty decorations and visit with their friends. I just think that's a win-win for everybody, honestly. I know the park, they're saying it's because the park gets too crowded. But the people who are shopping are different. Okay, that's a different group of people. All right? I know because I'm one of those people. I don't ride a lot of rides. I went and rode Rise of the Resistance twice. Thank you. And it was lovely. I enjoyed it. But honestly, the rides are not why I go now. And if you're that kind of person, you're there to see people that are in from out of town, or you have cast members that you like and you want to see how they're doing and whatever, or you want to pick up that great gift for someone and you happen to be a Disney Rewards Visa card member because you're getting that killer deal, you know, with the Disney Visa card or your pass if you have it. But if you don't, wouldn't it be nice just to have an ability to go in, go shop, eat, and enjoy the park without riding the rides? You just sit on a park bench and you people watch. Whatever the reason, it's your choice. You're physically not up to it, whatever. That area is what I think. So what do you think? Let's get you guys on there. But before I do that, pumpkins abound. Think about taking the class. We still have a few spaces left. And then bring your pins and bring something to put in the raffle if you want. Or just bring yourself. There's going to be food. It's going to be wonderful. And I'm there till God turns the lights out. So I'm there all day. Yeah. So, and the reason I am is because that's my feeling. We get carvers who want to stay and carve most of the day on their pumpkin. They want to fine tune it, or they just want to sit and chat because it's been such a long time. All outdoors. Did I say that? Social distancing. Did I say that? And it's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. So that's a great way to spend the day before Halloween, and then have a pumpkin that's super cool that you carve for Halloween. So think about that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Did you watch Outrageous Pumpkins? Did you like who won? Not going to say, in case you haven't seen it. You can get on to Discovery Plus. I think it's like $5 for the month. I think it has a 7-day grace period. So get on there, do your 7 days, cancel it before, the end of 7 days if it's not appealing to you. Or sign up for a month and watch all the pumpkin stuff, and you'll get to know what we're saying. But it's still on Discovery Plus. But here's the thing. Watch your Food Network all this weekend, because it could be rerunning. Maybe an ungodly hour, I'm not sure, but their schedules are really weird. But I clicked on a couple days ago, and there was a really old pumpkin one that I did. So sometimes the list is not so easily deciphered, their scheduling, They might just like to play the show game a little, so you watch the whole, those shows are great. So, you get to see Halloween Wars, maybe catch season 5 with Joe Yakovetic and his friend Doug, who's on his opposite team. You never know. You just never know. So you might really enjoy it. Okay? All righty. Let's go to your questions or your comments or whatever and see what you have to say. I am revved up, as you can tell, because Halloween is my favorite time. And on Sunday, I'm going to be carving pumpkins all day for that evening. I'm going to get all prepped for the evening and carve pumpkins. And I got a lot to do. So I'm going to pretend that I'm a contestant and try and carve as fast as I can and do some good stuff. No chainsaw, though. Yeah, I'm going to leave that for... Hey, Crumpet Puppet Troops. I love the way that sounds. How are you, Crumpet Puppet Troops? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, David Ransom. Now, David and I haven't seen each other in a while, and it's not the fault of the pandemic. We just haven't seen each other. So we were talking the other day and saying, hey, it'd be great to see each other. And indeed it would. Crumpet, but hey, Terry, I've got a question. What advice would you give to puppet builders, designers like myself, trying to develop their own style? That is a great question. Stay away from the pie plate. Did you think I was going to say that? That pie plate that Jim Henson is so known, Bert and Ernie are really good examples of that. When I see a lot of people create puppets, they do that pie plate puppet. And the thing about the pie plate puppet, as I call it, and the reason I call it a pie plate puppet, is it is a plate, usually for the mouth. Back in the day when Jim was doing it and when other earlier puppeteers were doing it, they took a plate, they folded it in half, and that was the mouth. But Jim kind of made that famous. And I'm going to go into my albums here and kind of show you what I mean, okay? Because this is a really good question, Troop. So let me see if I can show you what I mean. I don't know if I can. I may have to go to my bigger... let me see if I have it in favorites, because I have one in particular, a few in particular I'd like to show you if I can find it. It may not be so easy because I really should go and rework some of these, but of course it's not in favorites, little stinker. Just, that's the way things are. But we'll go into all my photos and I will scan and see if I can find the one that I really wanted to show you guys. I'm going to have to go all the way to the top. Pray I see it here. And then I'll go my way to the bottom. Oh, I just noticed. It's a great way to see the pumpkins. And next year, I'm going to work on my classes. So I'll teach you some puppet work. I'll teach you some drawing, some painting. That's going to be my New Year's resolution, is to get my training courses up that you can take online and have a good time. Because I've been wanting to do that. Yes, here she is. Okay, so I will show you what I mean. Okay? Yeah. So the pie plate puppet is really cute, really adorable, really sweet. And I did a, just a second. I'm going to add this to my album, actually. Let me just pop him in there, and then I can show you what I'm talking about. Where are you? There you are. Ba-bam. Yay! That makes life so much easier. Any other one skirting around that I can grab while I'm at it? No, that'll do it. Okay. All right. So let's go over here and I will show you what I mean. First, I'm going to go to my albums, go to puppets. I don't have a lot, but I have enough to show you what I mean. There we go. Here we go. Okay. So here is my stitch puppet. I did this stitch puppet for the, I'm going to like hide you so you can, I'm going to put my little face down here. But anyway, based on the question, this is my stitch puppet and he is a pie plate puppet. His is pretty much like a plate folded in half. But Stitch, the design of Stitch kind of asked to be a pie plate, but I designed him for the 50th anniversary and he was auctioned off at the convention that I built him for and bought by Bob Gurr. Yes, Disney legend Bob Gurr bid on him and is the proud owner. You'll notice, you probably can't see very well, but there are rods there. So to answer your question, do a design that suits you. So I had a friend named Ted Lamoureux. It's been a long time, but he used to do these half-dead roadkill puppets, and they were sensational. Like the face was like half melting and stuff. If you pull away from this pie plate bug eye look, you're going to have a lot more fun designing your characters. So let's go back a moment. I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you these that I designed custom for people. This is what I mean. Okay. So this is Juxta. The women love tree frogs. So I actually made a puppet that looks like a tree frog. You see the difference? She's not really a pie plate puppet. She does have bug eyes, but after all, she is a frog. So I've designed her after a frog. Now, the thing I want to tell you about here is you can see the rods going down from her hands and you see her cute little tree frog fingers. That gave you free animation. So when you do the rods, her hands do all kinds of fun stuff, okay, because of it. This is a woman who has a book called Sentence Aerobics, and she helps you say in the long drawn out conversation or the long drawn out written things you do, she shows you how to optimize it and make it smaller and say the right words so it doesn't take up so much space, and how not to juxtapose. So this behind her, I designed for her. That's the packaging that Juxta came in. And then let's see if I have a picture of, come on, Juxta, share. She doesn't want to share. Let's see if I've got, oh no, I don't. That was the last picture. So, but I was going to show you, let me go back to I should have put those other ones in there when I was looking. I want to show you how I presented this to her, because I do these custom characters for you. They look like, you like a tree frog, it's going to look like a tree frog. You want a lion, it's going to look like a lion, but it doesn't necessarily have to look like a pie plate puppet. And if you've seen some of the characters that Jim has done in the past, they absolutely don't look like that. The Foster Farms chickens, which I designed, here they are, from this is West Coast characters. You can see that they are not pie plate mouths. They have been, I designed them. So puppet, just what I'm saying is, what is your design? And then you make it talk. The way I started out was to take a toy that I liked, and if it was conducive to a puppet, I'd rip out the insides of it. I'd open up and make a mouth, and that's how it started for me, is I just started taking toys and making them talk. So that's how you could do it to get a feel of it. And toys come in all different ways. I mean, like a bear, would you do a Fozzie bear, or would you make your stuffed bear talk like a stuffed bear? So that's what I'm saying, is let your design be the major thing when you're doing it, and then put shows on and post them and talk about what your dream is. Okay. I always say, share your dream as well. So this is my cat. This is Alley Cat. You'll notice he has a big eye and a little eye. He usually goes around and talks about bullying and how it hurts his feelings because he has a weird eye. So he's very shy. He was a stuffed animal that I ripped apart and took part of the upper for his upper part. And then he has I took his paws. The lower paws are from the toy. And then I did the sock in between. So I'm just trying to crack your head open, guys, so that you can kind of see what you might do if you're the creative person. So many people who create new puppets lock themselves into the bug-eye pie plate. And a lot of times people put a hard mouth in there, and my cat is a flexible mouth, because I really believe the best system for animation is your hand. So I like the flexibility of being able to move my hand inside. So my basis is usually a sock is the foundation, and then I build from there. Yeah, unless it's something like Stitch, okay? Because Stitch, you know, he's got that big wide mouth, so a pie plate really worked for him. But it limits flexibility. And then if you really want to see, back in the day of Star Wars, and Star Wars was my jam and still is my jam. Back in the day of Star Wars, I did this puppet. This is 1980. And there I am with my hand sculpted Yoda puppet. I used scissors to carve this, ping pong balls for the eyes. He's anything but a pie plate puppet. Okay. So I used foam for my couch. Actually, not the couch my parents owned, but pretty close. My parents were like, "What are you doing?" But I sculpted his hands. I made his whole outfit. I sculpted his face. Ping pong balls for the eyes. I hand painted them. He has little chiclet teeth I made out of wax. I made his little flute around his waist, and we performed together. And anyone who was back in the 80s and saw me perform still remembers how much they loved Yoda. Here I call myself the other hope. So I kept saying that, you know, the next one, that the other hope was going to be a woman, and then it turned out to be Princess Leia, as you all know. But this is what I'm talking about, okay? Does that answer your question? If you want to follow up to the question, you're welcome to. But basically, let yourself go as a puppeteer and design your style, okay? I do all kinds of crazy styles, and they all shift and change with the criteria that's needed for a puppet character. I was going to show you my garbage disposal characters I did for a commercial, but I don't know if they're in here. So what I have to remember is, as I go through here, is I have to, you know, you ask a very good question. So I need to remember that I need to have a few of those examples for you to understand. But my basis is a sock. Yeah. My basis is a sock. And I got that from Jim Henson. Yeah. Jim Henson is the one who taught me that, I just put it in pumpkins. Can you believe that? I'm a goofball. I am a total goofball putting that picture in pumpkins when it should have been puppets. I have pumpkins on the brain. But anyway, I apologize for that. It's kind of nutty and crazy. But that's exactly, I'm a cosplayer as well. And then if you look at Henson's doesn't always do pie plate. Let's talk about the show Dinosaurs, the TV show, not the mama, where I was the assistant to Kevin Clash, and we all did Team Baby. So let me show you a shot there of that one. Here I am behind the chair. Here's Baby. Again, not a pie plate puppet. So my explanation, although I'm saying it several times over and over, is to just let you know that did I add to? Okay, good. Woo. Yep. There we go. Thank you. Is to let you know the different styles, types, etc., with these characters, and don't be limited by the pie plate or the bug eyes. You know, you'll notice that crank yankers, they're limited by that. Which is nothing wrong with it. It's just, if you want your style to be known to you, That's the difference, right? People will go, oh, they look like blah, blah, blah. I remember when I did the Foster Farms chickens and Jim saw my chickens and he said, you know, Terri, I like them because they don't look like my puppets. When I met Jim, that's what he said. I like your puppets because they don't look like my puppets. And I remember smiling up at him and saying to him, that's because they're my puppets. So, so it's kind of funny. I've always had I'm kind of a cheeky character. I'm always telling the truth and I fear no one. So my husband will say there was one person that I was a little bit nervous about, but it was just because the guard was coming at me a little scary. So I was a little more standoffish, but anyway, I'm looking to see if there's anything else I can show you before I go on, but because, oh yes, here's what I wanted to show you because this is kind of important. Boop. I've got this down now so I can really show you. Boom. Okay. Now we're going to go back to all albums. Not all shared albums. That's not what I want. I want this one. And we're going to go down until we find our puppets. There they are. Yay! Okay, so in the case of juxtapose I showed you before, here's how I present it because I'm also saying, everyone who makes puppets, that I create an experience. So by Juxta's little paw is an adoption certificate. The rod, she's holding the rods. And then these pages are duplicates of the book that this woman wrote. So Juxta's in that box that I showed you. And then you open it up and you see the cute little Juxta peeking out. And the woman went crazy for it. And then I teach you how to use it. So here I am showing her how to play with her character and how she might use her character to get people excited. Does she decide to use the character? I don't know. But the fact of the matter is she was very excited and happy. And I know you feel the same way, everybody who does puppets, the puppet troupe, you want other people to realize the joy of puppets. So don't restrict yourself, pull out all the stops and use your magic to do it. And then tell everybody what you'd like to do. Okay. I was going to try and find my garbage disposal characters. I did with Joe Pitka. I made some really crazy garbage disposal characters. And maybe next Friday, I'll show you those if I can come across them. Okay. Thank you for the question. It's a great question. Continuation from the tribe. Doug Marsh comes to our Christmas parade and sets up a beautiful Carolwood display. Isn't that nice? Okay. So Bob is talking about Walt's Barn at Griffith Park here in California. On the 21st, I'll be signing my book and selling my book. Of course I will be. And if you want to come out to the barn, if you've never been to Walt's Barn in Griffith Park, it's actually Walt's Barn, and it's run by people who love trains called the Carolwood Society. So if you're someone who's a little borderline with Disney, or you love Disney, but you really go gaga for trains like my husband, this is a great place to go. And it's November 21st. And so I hope I see you out there. I'll be talking about it in the future, but that's what Bob's talking about. And Doug, who is a big part of the Carolwood group, comes and does a display. So there you go. That's what that's about. Okay. You want Muppet movies. Some Muppet movies. Okay. Not all Muppet movies. So I did the crowd scene. They did a calling all cars Muppet movie for the original Rainbow Connection sequence of the Muppet movie. Way back when. And I was in the crowd scene. Yeah. Keep believing, that one. Yeah. So I was in that. And then I was in Muppet Mini Classics. I did that with Frank Oz and the group. I played a horse, a singing horse. Zebra whenever I can, because Jim got a kick out of the fact that I'm mixed races and that my one of my totem animals was a zebra. And Tigger. Tigger because I'm bouncy and goofy and silly, and a zebra because I'm half black, half white. Don't go there, Me Too movement. This is just a fun way to illustrate my heritage, my background. I love the zebras. So, don't think it's a mean racist statement. It's me. It's about me. I am the zebra, half black, half white. And the stripes are equal on a zebra. So that means that I celebrate both of my parents. I don't diss either one of them. And being a white chick, sometimes people assumed I was white. This kind of helps them think twice. I live in Hollywood. Hollywood is a place where people make decisions about you without talking. So I like people. I like right away. They see these dreadlocks. They know there's more going on than a white chick. Okay. Why? Because my dad is my hero and he has made me understand the beauty of being who I am and why it's important to be the best you possible. I had something in my eye. Sorry about that. My father's taught me that. And so zebra is, yeah, special. The swan is another thing. You remember in Lilo and Stitch, when Stitch really identifies with the swan. Well, I did too, because for the longest time I was an ugly duckling when I was a little kid, and I was bullied and teased, and I used to come home not feeling that great, feeling like I didn't amount to much. And my mom gave me a little swan pendant, and it broke my heart because she read The Ugly Duckling to me, and I realized that one day I'd be a beautiful swan, and that's the way it turned out for me. That is the way it turned out for me. Let me show you what I look like as a little kid. You're going to be cracking up because, oops, that's not the button I was going to push. Here it is. So my mom did it in what we call the black puff, because my hair was my father's. So they put my hair in like a little black person puff. It was the easiest for a white woman to do. So that's what she does. And oddly enough, Terry's with a pumpkin. Just can't get away from him, guys. But there I am, very happy. And my sister, there's my sister. There we are as little babies. And my sister has darker skin. She looks Hawaiian. She's extremely beautiful. And she got my mother's, Farrah Fawcett. Remember Farrah Fawcett and the Willow Balsam commercials? If you don't, Google it. You could probably find it. But she was very beautiful. She had hair that just like for days, like waves on the ocean, had that beautiful hair. And I was the one that had hair that stuck out in absolutely every direction. When I went to apply as an Imagineer, they actually said, "What are you?" Because my hair looked like this. That is all my hair. How about that, guys? Yeah, baby. My dad's hair. Not dyed or bleached. Can you imagine being a white woman and having to deal with that? From a small town, and you see that hair and you go, "Oh my God, what am I going to do?" And that's what they say, because you see this beautiful girl sitting next to me. This is one of my friends who is just she's lovely. Anyway, she has the hair that when it's wet it dries the same. I am not that lucky, so there I am. They did not know what to do with me as Imagineer when I walked in with hair like that, and the reaction is a reaction. But to answer your question, Michael, about the Muppet movies, I did Country Bears, which was a Disney Muppet conglomeration. And I was involved in Dinosaurs, the TV show, Disney, ABC, and Henson, which is on Disney Plus, if you're interested. Dinosaurs, the Sinclair family, not the mama. I did the Flintstones, which was also a Henson collaboration with Universal Studios, both those films. And I've done a plethora of others, like Ghostbusters, which had absolutely nothing to do with the Muppets. But I still got to be the terror dog that Sigourney Weaver turns into. I've had a really lovely, amazing life. And I did not do anything that was like Sesame Street. I've never done a Sesame Street. I did do Puzzle Place. I played a cute little character who was an artist. So they actually kind of created her for me, Jody. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot from other puppeteers. So yeah, a lot of the stuff I did was audio animatronic. So, but recently, no, I've not done many. But full disclosure, I'm not, getting on Henson's back and going, "Those stinkers, they didn't hire me." No, I've been real busy. Yeah, I want to do my own show. Jim and I were creating a show together, and I'd like to he passed away, and before we actually made it our show, so it's still my show, and I'd like to work on that. The characters I designed, and I did all the designs, and I'd like to do a show like that and put it on the internet. So maybe in all my spare time, as I laughingly say, but that kind of gives you the idea, yeah, of what's going on. Oh, let me show you what my sister looks like. You might like that. You can see what I mean. See what I mean? Stunning. Yeah. Just look at the flowing hair and that cocoa butter skin. And she always tanned. She always laid out to tan. And I hated tanning. I sculpted sand instead. So God got the skin mixed up a little bit, but but there she is, lovely. We're in Maui. She lives in Maui, and we've just finished taking a ukulele class. So I wanted to introduce her to the ukulele because during the pandemic, no, but she lives there by herself. So I just thought it would be a good, fun thing for her to do. So yeah, so that's my family, my wild and crazy family. Did you believe that Muppet Movies would take you on that tangent? Yep. That's why people subscribe to this channel, because Terry goes the freeway, changing lanes, and I don't necessarily always warn you that I'm going to do that. So thank you, David. Nice. Thank you for being so understanding of my craziness, because that's why I think people subscribe to this channel, is because you never know what I'm going to give you, but it is going to be fun and entertaining. Always. Yeah. Hi, Paul. I was just talking about people like you, Paul. He's been away for a while. What did you think of the season ending of At Lasso? Wow. Was that a hanger? I was like, guys, come on. How am I going to wait for third season? That's what I thought about the last season. But then I went back and watched them all together. I love that show. I love that show. My husband wants me to get rid of my husband said, do we need to keep Apple? And I'm like, yes, because I got to watch second season over again of Ted Lasso. I watch it over and over and over again. I love that show. So yeah, I was kind of like, what? And now, I don't want to talk too specific about it, Paul, but there was a sequence there involving Sam. Sam's my favorite character. Between him and Roy. But Sam's my favorite character, and that, you know what I'm talking about, when he was maybe gonna not, I don't want to say too much, but oh my gosh, I was really freaking out. Thank goodness. Sam is a big deal. When I first saw Sam in first season, I watched first season. This is before they became such a sensation. They were a quiet sensation, but a lot of people didn't really know what we were talking about when we saw it. And my husband went on the Warner Brothers store site, and we saw that you could get a Ted Lasso jersey, and you could put your name on the back. But instead of my name, I put Sam's number and Sam's name. I just loved him. Be the goldfish. And I was like, I love this guy. This guy's really cool. I had no idea he was going to play such an integral part in season 2. He was very low key season 1, but season 2, I had no idea, but I was a big fan, and I love Roy. I absolutely love Roy. In fact, I was torn between, I almost got 2 jerseys so I could wear my Roy Kent jersey, when I was feeling, or my happy-go-lucky, joyful, beautiful Sam. But Sam's a lot like me. And he loves, life is great, and everything. And then, of course, you've got Danny Rojas. Na 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 na. Football is life. You have Danny Rojas, and Danny Rojas is very special to me, because I've been involved for a while. I was a distributor for a while. I still am, but a very active distributor in Herbalife. And I used to go with the Latino side of Herbalife. That if you are Latino, you know about Herbalife, because people are rocking it. Spanish-speaking people rock Herbalife. It's a huge business. Many of them have made a lot of money. But I used to go to the soccer games, because the LA Galaxy is a soccer team. They love them. And of course, watch soccer with them. That's where I learned about soccer, because I'm not a soccer fan, but it's fun to watch it with people who love it. And they have no problem telling you. So I sit in the stands with a lot of people speaking Spanish, only catching little bits of it, but having a great time. So Danny Rojas is for them. The guy with the award-winning smile, the amazing good looks, the flowing hair, and the personality that just gobbles you up, hugs you, and takes care of you. So last season, Paul, last season episode, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to last. I just keep watching the other seasons over and over. Hopefully it will take me to the third season because I love this show. And it's really got me, it's got me hanging. I don't want to say anything about it because if you guys haven't seen it, subscribe to Apple Plus, get an Apple Watch, an Apple phone, an Apple something, and get a year free. Join T-Mobile. I don't know. Find a way that you can watch this series because this is the best series to come out of anywhere and the choicest series for the pandemic. Yeah, you can tell I can't stand it, right, Paul? Oh, I love that show. Love that show. Hello, Deanna. Happy Halloween. I sent a pic of my costume for my work contest today. Baby bump included. Wish me luck. Wishing you luck. Woohoo! How fun. How fun. Post a picture and tag me, would you? I'm dying to see it. Thank you, Cheryl. Congratulations, Cheryl. That's an awesome. A contest. Eee! I love contests. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And she says it twice just in case she wasn't sure she posted it. We call that, look, that's called Shawshanking you. You see how she has it 3 times here? That's Shawshanking you. You know what Shawshanking is? So what I say to people is if you send an email, you send a message, you send a text, people like me are very busy. It's not that we don't love you. It's that it takes us some time to answer you because we're very busy. I get about 2,000 emails per day. Yeah, my husband looks at my email that I haven't looked at and goes, so it takes a little bit of time. So have a bit of patience, grain of salt with me. If you're writing to me, I will get to you. But if it's really important, Shawshank me. Just as Cheryl Sawyer has done there, she did the message 3 times. Do you remember Shawshank Redemption, where he's trying to get the library for all of the inmates, and he keeps writing and writing and writing until the government says, okay. Here are books from the library and $200 for you to build your library. That's called Shawshanking. And I think you do that with anyone you want to have listen to you, not just your friends and family. But UPS, when they owed me money from damaging a carousel horse I sent through the mail, and they promised me they were going to take care of it, and it ended up shattered on the other end, I Shawshanked them until they paid me the balance of the insurance that I had done. Because, you know, it was a wooden horse. How do you screw up a wooden horse unless you run over it with a truck? So they were kind of meh with me until I Shawshanked them. So, Cheryl, thank you for illustrating Shawshanking. I think you did a great job. That would honestly be a lot better. Yes, guys, you are a puppet troupe, okay? So think, you know, you got to do your design. In the world of marionettes, which is where I started, okay, I used to work with an amazing lady called Jeannie of Genieland. She once had a marionette. That's the ones with the strings. For those of you who don't know what a marionette is, puppets, I'm not talking to you like you're dumb, but I'm just specifying because a lot of people think of the Jim Henson hand puppets. But there's all types of puppets. There's rod puppets. I don't really consider a ventriloquist dummy a puppet, but some do. And then there's the marionettes who are done with strings, okay? And 9 strings is usually the norm for a marionette, just so you know. But when Jeannie had a gathering of all of her marionette friends, there were people who did puppets with 100 strings. The puppet could walk to the end. I remember a surfer character that a guy had designed that could walk to the end of the skateboard, pop it, hang 10, and walk down doing this. Unbelievable. So what I'm saying is, like an egg, open your head, open your mind, and design whatever you want. Do the sketches and then say, how can it be designed, okay? And then let me say one more thing to all of you in the troupe. Consider joining for $5 a month, Terris Tribe, okay? Because there's where we work out these designs. So you could actually show your design to me in the group, and you would say, Terri, this is the thing I want to make, okay? How would I make it? Okay, how would I make it so it's interesting? You know, I'm thinking of making it this way as a character. What are your suggestions? And that's where the tribe comes in, Terry's Tribe on Patreon. So patreon.com/Terri Hardin. Think about it, because that's where we talk designs. We talk about a lot of stuff. And a lot of times it's Disney and just, what are you having for breakfast? So don't let me think it's always work. But if you're someone who's looking to make a living doing what you love, we talk about that as well. Yeah. And what can you do and how can you do it and how can you get started? Okay. So that's where I really dive into that detail. If you want it on the Zoom call every Wednesday, and then also there are some rules. We don't steal from each other. We support each other. So it's really great. I'm just starting to paint. So there's several painters and illustrators there who are giving me tips on how I can improve, or just encouraging me to keep on painting. So think about it. Patreon.com/Terri Hardin. Become a member, $5 a month, which means you got to skip a Starbucks one day out of your month and you've paid for it. Okay. That makes it so that I can keep coming to you and giving you. Pays a little bit for that advice, because if you come to my retreat, it's going to cost a heck of a lot more. And I'll talk about the retreat another time. So that's what I mean, guys. That's, if you need some help, that's a good place to get that specific help you might need as you cross over into your own fantastic designs. And you're going to have a ball. You guys are going to have a blast. Okay. So for example, if you had to make a puppet cloud, how would you do it? Don't think about how Jim would do it or how other puppeteers would do it. How would this Crumpet Puppet troupe design a cloud? And then go for it. Go get them, tigers, because you got it in you. I have a friend, he did these roadkill puppets that were absolutely ghastly. Eyes, dripping down and all kinds of creepy, and their mouths are off center. Oh my Lord, they were so scary, but people loved them because that was his style. You always knew a Ted Lamoureux puppet. Yeah. So there you go. Wouldn't it be nice if someone looked at your work and said, that's their stuff. That's what they do. Okay. Yep. Happy Halloween, Cheryl. Work costume for today. Oh, thank you. Love it, love it, love it. Can't wait. And congratulations on the baby bump. Woohoo. Thank you for doing that. Michelle says, yes, I love Disneyland, but the prices are creating a situation that locks out more and more families. And do you really think Walt wanted that to happen? No. He wanted to be a place where everybody could come together, whether you were 4 years old all the way up to 99, that you could all enjoy a facet of Disneyland. And that's becoming more and more difficult. So that's why I made the suggestion that I did, is to maybe have that special pass for people to come. Maybe it's limited a little bit, but I think you should do that. And then they could pick, like at a buffet, rides, especially if you have little children, because with little children, a lot of times they're not tall enough for certain rides, et cetera, et cetera. So why are you paying for the whole ballywick as your kids grow up? Once your kids grow up, they're going to want to ride those rides anyway. So it's not like Disney is going to be out of luck, just temporary, So that's my thoughts. And thank you for sharing yours, Michelle. It costs to park there. Yes, it does, David. It does. It does. And I don't know. You'll have to tell me, okay? But I know that if you go to micechat.com, my friend Dusty still has some deals. Last time I looked. And so you may decide not to park. Right now the trams aren't running. And how irritating is the trams not running and you're paying more for parking? Is that irritating? Comment, please. Isn't it? I mean, come on. Really? Yeah. Lord have mercy is all I have to say about that, because my goodness, trams aren't running and you're paying more for parking. Ouch. Now you can be in Toy Story and some of the others where the buses are running, but I mean, that's a little weird. So what I'm trying to say is that across the street, across Harbor Boulevard from Disneyland, there are many hotels that are offering parking for a lot less. So think about that. That may be a way that you can do it. And then later on, stay at those hotels as a thank you, because there's lots of them along the way and they all have really great deals. And the money you save from not staying on property, you can buy souvenirs and things you can take home with you, right? That's me. I do that in Paris. Don't stay on property anymore. However, my friend Liz Reed stayed in the New York, which is now the Marvel Hotel, and she says it's worth it at least for a night. I would go and check it out. All right, I would. but I'm not going to stay there. I've got a hotel just outside of Paris that the price you pay for a day or two on property, you can stay a week in this hotel, and it has a shuttle to Disneyland, and it's only just outside of Disneyland in Paris. So that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yes. So David, you are correct. Also, if my comment showed up more than once, my Facebook was being weird this morning. But Cheryl, you illustrated a really good point. I was able to use that. So you can blame it on Facebook, but I still think you were Shawshank, and I think it was very good. So yay for you. It allowed me to tell people about Shawshanking, because if you're not getting an answer from someone, you just take that same message, copy it, and put it in again. And again, just like Cheryl did. Now, she's saying Facebook was being weird, but this illustrates a way that you can get somebody like my gardener. Sometimes my gardener's in his own world, like I'm in my own world. So I just send the message 3 times, just like Cheryl did to me. So honestly, I thought you did a great job, my dear. I really did. A shopping sitting around pass works for me, says Paul. How about that, guys? Maybe they could sell a la carte tickets if someone buys the pass and wants to do just, you got it, Paul. Or maybe even a book of tickets. You got it, Paul. Broken up by letter categories. Does this sound familiar? Paul, you're absolutely right. And some people would buy the book and not ride the rides because they want a copy of the book, because you guys collect everything. So here's another option. Okay. So Paul, you're absolutely right. This is what I would do if I was going to do an alteration with Disney. I'm going to grab my chair for just a little bit here. But that's what I would do. And the reason I would do it is because I'm just like you, Paul. I don't ride any rides when I go there. I go in to see people. I love to see you guys. I love to see, and you guys, when I go, I usually make an announcement, let people know that I'm going to be there. If I'm just going down for the day or whatever. And if you're going to be in there, come see me. And then I ask you to show me what you got. You guys have all your collectible, what you bought and what excites you. Is it a t-shirt? Is it a, like yesterday? Okay. My friend Bobby, she came over. And she came over to pick up her hitchhiking ghosts, which, if you've been listening to my channel, have been a little challenging to get delivered to everybody. But I designed a set of illuminating hitchhiking ghosts, and they are spectacular. They are the Cadillacs of the ghosts. She came and she just had to show me her t-shirt, which was Haunted Mansion Hitchhiking Ghost t-shirt. See my shirt? And she had the bag. Oh, the bag is cute. The shirt is cute. Wow. You see? So I love looking at your guys' collection and seeing what you like. And I'll sit at Coke Corner, because it's one of my favorite places to sit, listen to the piano. But honestly, just sit and talk to you guys. Or that next level up, you go up the stairs and there's that table right there. I love to sit right there. And then you come, you take a load off, maybe you get a drink, get a little lunch, and then you share with me what you've done for the day. For me, this is lots more fun. So I have to agree with Paul here that you get with your friends, or I'm going out to sign something. Somebody's got a Tinkerbell that I've done, or they've got my book, or they've got something and they didn't get it signed, and they say, can I come to Disneyland? I'm going to be at Disneyland. Are you possibly going to be there? It's a little more challenging now with the appointments, but it's not impossible. So that's why I have the pass, is to see you. So I agree with Paul. You could get a ticket or two, or you could have the option to buy a ticket book if you're someone who's going to a lot of rides. But just like Paul says, if you don't have children and you're not much of a rider anymore, which I'm not, I only ride the new rides. So I've got to ride Jungle Cruise because I haven't ridden that yet. And I want to ride the Avengers. I want to check out Avengers. But you know what interests me? Honestly, not Spider-Man. I want to see the food thing, the shrinky food, the blow-uppy food, that thing. I want to see that stuff because I loved Ant-Man and I like the idea of what they're doing there. That sounds really cool to me. So I'm not really to ride Spider-Man. I'm really not. What I want is to see the food because I think that's super cool. I want to see drinks being filled up from the bottom instead of the top. I just love all that kind of gizmology stuff. So that would be a perfect thing for people who are walking around, right? So I agree with you, Paul. Basically, Terry's long-winded version about that. They limit the number of passes due to COVID. David, they limit the number of passes because not only COVID, but they still are overpacking the park. Have you seen some of these pictures where people are side by side, but there's no masks and are like this, you know? So you got to be careful. But that's why they are doing appointments, because they have to limit capacity. You're absolutely right, because of COVID. And we cannot forget that COVID is still out there. So we have to exercise some caution and do the things we would normally do, like continuously, wash our hands and stuff like that. That's really a no-brainer, isn't it, David? Yeah. Mary Ann, Disney party with my Dayton crew. Happy. Yes, indeed. How fun is that? Yeah, you did a lot. A lot of you went to WDW, didn't you, for the 50th? I know Anita told me you might be going out and doing the WDW thing. I didn't want to. And when I saw those pictures, I really didn't want to. So it'll be a little while for me before I go back to that kind of gathering. No, not yet. Sabrina is talking about outrageous pumpkins. She wasn't expecting the winner to be who it was. She probably was voting for my other thought, and but was happy at who it was. Yeah. The every single one of those people that were finalists were lovely, wonderful people. Unfortunately, because we shot during the pandemic, we didn't get to know them. But now that the show is hit, we're now speaking to each other through Instagram, and mostly through Instagram. The young people. I'm 64, so a lot of young people don't do Facebook much anymore. They communicate through Instagram, so and TikTok, which I haven't. I've done a little bit of TikTok, about this much tick, more like I'm doing tick, not yet talk. So, so I'll get to it, but we communicate mostly on Instagram. So that's my biggest following, and where all of the pumpkin sculptors are kind of coming together and talking when we couldn't, because we were isolated from each other. So I didn't get to do what I did in the earlier seasons. Yeah, I agree. I haven't seen the new season, but Food Network had season 1 available on their app. Yes, they did. Very, very, very weird. Yes, without Allison, isn't it? And they also, it has a different vibe. Allison just brings it up, doesn't she? There's nothing like Allison Hannigan. And you can tell, guys, if you just sort of go on your Roku or your whatever streaming thing you have, and you type in her name, she's busy. Because she's so lively and vibrant and perky and fun and cute as a little bug and a lovely girl. So yeah, I agree with you. But you can go on Discovery Plus and subscribe. I think 7 days you get a trial period, and then you can subscribe for a month. It's like $5 or something. But do that and then cancel after a month. But you'll have plenty of time to watch all the pumpkin stuff, all the shows you want to watch, if you can't find them on the Food Network. That's just the secret of it. Of course, they want you to keep it forever, but sometimes you can't keep every channel, can you? So you kind of got to pick and choose. I'll watch certain channels, like I love TCM during Halloween because they always show monster movies, but then I don't watch them very much. Then I love Criterion, which is a very expensive channel, but it's got some really wacko movies. So if I feel like a wacko movie. And then, of course, there's free movies from your library. So if you have a library card, research that. They will have commercials, but you will really enjoy. I mean, they're also kind of obscure too, but a way to see movies for free too. Angie says, missed you. I've missed you, Angie. Angie is a diehard. So what are you doing for Halloween, Angie? I'm glad you're here. Very happy you're here. The guys had some definite opinions about me watching Sabrina. So Sabrina found somebody who had Outrageous Pumpkins, had the Food Network, so she could see Outrageous Pumpkins, because Sabrina is one of my pumpkin sculptors. So when we do demos, and we did a demo last Saturday at the Irvine Park Railroad in Orange County, which is very near where I'm going to be teaching my class. So I was giving people flyers of the class and telling them they could come and take a class with me out in Anaheim. And I invited some of my alumni carvers like Sabrina to come and carve. And she did a great job. And so now she's talking about how the people who had the channel, she asked if she could watch Outrageous Pumpkins instead of putting on a Green Bay game. I'm sure they were like, because unfortunately the pumpkin show tends to conflict with a lot of sports. So that can be a little difficult. And my father finally watched the show. He was having a little trouble finding the Food Network, but he finally got to see it. And he was asking me, don't the other contestants get money too? No, but everyone is flown out to do the contest. Everyone's fed and everyone's taken care of. So they do get something. They don't have to drive themselves up. They don't have to bring their pumpkins. They do have to bring their toolkits. But they come together and they're taken care of. The Food Network takes very good care of them. And then the winner gets a bonus. So they're not, left to their own devices. And my dad, that's my father for you. He was like, well, what about the other folks? Don't they get anything? Shouldn't they have a second, third? My dad likes people to be happy, so he was really cute about that. So Sabrina, thank you for this. I have no problem doing it instead of the Green Bay game. Honestly, I'm not a sports person. Jen Diz says, for the puppets idea and Odie, was that the names Idie and Odie? Okay, did you create them or puppeteer or both? So Idie and Odie were created by an amazing artist named Lance Anderson. They were talking Captain EO, right? And Lance and I met way back. So Star Wars, I saw Lance had worked on Star Wars, and I saw Star Wars 183 times. I'm actually in the book Skywalking about George Lucas on page 3, so you can read about that. And I did it, and I wrote down every name in the credits, and I did sketches. I did all kinds of crazy stuff. In 1977, when I first saw Star Wars, I saw it in 1 week, 67 times the first week. Yeah, I hid. I'm writing a book about it that I hope will come out, and I'll be able to sign up for the Star Wars celebration, and that's where the book will be. But you can learn all about my crazy antics as a Star Wars person, including selling my collection for 6 figures. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And then meeting George Lucas on Captain EO, full circle. Trying to figure out what I should title the book. It's got to have the word Star Wars in it, but yeah. So I'm a Star Wars fruitcake. Anyway, so Lance was one of the people who was a part of Star Wars, and he went on to do a couple of other things that I was a part of. And then lo and behold, when I was cast I was brought in to build some of the whip warriors, the guys in black that whip Michael. I was brought in to build those. And then I was auditioned to do and won the part of Idie and Odie. So I did not create them. I did alter them because my mentor, Tony Urbano, said, if the puppet's not working for you, make it work for you. First, ask the mechanics to fix it. And if they won't, you do it. You figure out how to fix it, because you will be blamed if the puppet's not working right, not the mechanic. So when a person sees bad puppetry on camera, they go, oh, that puppeteer is really bad. They don't really say, oh, the mechanics made it difficult. You understand? So that's what I did. I actually snapped the necks of Idie and Odie so that they could move better, because they were very stiff. And I kept saying to Lance, can we get rid of this bar? It's restricting me. And he said, no. And so I broke it. Sorry, Lance. I don't know if you knew that, but that's what I did. So I didn't build them, but I did alter them. And they were very heavy. Each head was 15 pounds. Thing about mechanics is a lot of times they don't make them light necessarily. So you have to be strong in your upper body to do it. In fact, sometimes it can damage you. So many puppeteers working on Doc Ock. You remember Doc Ock had those creature things that was all practical. The puppeteers there injured, ripped, torn muscles, terribly heavy. I auditioned for it and said no. Not that they would have cast me. I just afterwards took myself out of the running because I didn't want to hurt myself. They were just way too heavy. So as a puppeteer, you may want to do a movie, but if you know you're going to be doing this for hours and hours and hours, you got to take care of your body, because if you tear anything or you can't lift, then you're messed up for the rest. You're done as a puppeteer in the film industry. And a lot of times they're very heavy. So now CG is playing a huge part, but my favorite thing is to do CG for things you can't do practically, and do practical for anything and everything you can do practical. So it's really a lot more fun, a lot cuter. They're a lot more real, right? So does that help, Jen? I hope I answered your question. If not, Shawshank me, girl. Oh, you're welcome, guys. You're welcome. And I hope you'll consider joining Patreon, because there's more where that came from. Yeah, there's more where that came from. Yes, Deanna, you were absolutely right. Carolwood and the barn is really fun. And to meet those folks are fun. And you can join that organization, which is fun. So if you're someone who maybe your Disney is kind of me and you love trains, this is where to do it. In fact, I was talking to my friend Bobby about it because Walt created the first, I learned from Carolwood that the first railroad that he had at Disneyland was Retlaw Railroad, which is Walter spelled backwards. So I have RR buttons that I won in an auction that I was auctioning against Bob Gurr. I won the buttons. I'm not sure. I keep saying to myself, what am I going to do with them? But I won a set of the buttons that were on the uniforms of the original people who ran the Retlaw Railroad. So Carolwood is super cool. So much to talk about. If you have questions about Carolwood, there's not a lot I can answer, but I certainly can answer some of the things that I was participating. They brought me in as a guest artist. And Paul remembers this because Paul was on the train taking care of all of us. It was just some of the most fun adventures ever. And I got to take my husband, which everybody loved because my husband is such a wit. He's so much fun. And but he doesn't go out to Disney much. That's just not his jam anymore. But trains are. So anytime I can go see Carolwood, he comes along because he loves trains and he loves train folk. So talking with the train folk, he loves it. Which characters did you puppeteer Rainbow Connection scene? Always a zebra, always an animal. So it's either a horse or a zebra. Jim learned very early in his life with me that it was fun to do. He'll do this a lot. Okay. So at D23, the very first D23 convention at those of you who are D23 members and everything, there was the Muppets inside a small replica of the Mark Twain. Do you remember this? And because I do the Foster Farms chickens, they put me in the chickens. Henson loves to do that. Henson is just, they're a bunch of fun. Yeah, they loved it. So I was always a chicken or something. And then when I did, I was very fond of the pigs. So when I did the Muppet Show, the one that was before the I forget it called Muppets Tonight. It wasn't Muppets Tonight because that was earlier. But I was on that show too, and I did a pig. I got to do a pig in the audience, and I love that pig. I love the pigs that they sculpted, and the pigs are a perfect example of, well, Miss Piggy is too. She's not a pie plate character, so that's why I'm saying, Jim pulled away and did, cool characters that are so different. I mean, I love that character that showed up in Muppets Haunted Mansion, and he does others. I like to call him Dracula, but that's not his name. Well, he talks like this, and he has a really wrinkled face. Oh my goodness! I can't wait to see him because he looks kind of like a sinister character, but he really isn't. But he could play that. He's the very theatrical one. I love him. He's kind of like a steel blue. Oh, so adorable. He's like so cool, but I don't know his name. I just know that I'm crazy about him. So in Muppets Haunted Mansion, I loved him. And I also like the little mummy. And was it a ghost in a mummy? I mean, I just love when the Hensons go all, they do their own version of spooky, like crazy characters. Ugh, so cool. What a creative man he was, right? Yeah, I love Jim. Love Jim. Hope that helps. The main step I found for my own building style is using stuffing instead of foam. The reason is because I want them to be a mixture of what hand puppets were, the past and present. That works. And if you like stuffing, I'm sure you know this, okay? But I'm going to say it anyway, that you don't need to stuff it and leave it loose so every time you pull your hand out, the stuffing goes away, right? It can be enclosed in like a little pillow. And then the pillow can be sewn and into various ways, making the shape of the body, can't it? And then you can so you could have a foam or even a sock lining, and then everything could be attached to that. I've done that before too. In the case of my cat that I showed you, his name is Al E, initial E, cat. Al's head has stuffing in it. Yeah, I stuffed that inside. Yeah, between the sock and inside his head was all stuffing. So I'm with you on that one. Absolutely. Yeah, and stuffing allows you to, foam can be restrictive. So stuffing allows you to kind of fill out what you want to fill out and weird out what you want to weird out, stuff like that. Yep. My friend who did the roadkill did latex castings, so it really looked kind of realistic and made them even creepier. So what I'm saying is just let yourself go, guys, and play, because you can do some seriously fun things if you play, right? Jennifer says, Marianne, haven't gotten any details about it. Did Renee send out an email as to what day or time? So Jennifer wants to know about this. So I hope you guys are communicating. I love your hair. I have very thin hair. I also always love the baby dinosaur, not the mama. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, I have enough hair that if you cut it off there, I wouldn't even notice. Yeah, I got that from my father. Now, my sister does have thinner hair than I do. Yeah, she's got hair like my mother, but I have hair like my dad. And I'm really excited because it's sort of trying to turn gray. I want to be all white haired. I have a friend named Dell, and his hair is like all white. He owns a bookstore here in the area, and his hair is all white. So he has white mustache, white beard, and then flowing white hair, just like you saw in my picture. So I'd like that, just white hair. Then I could stand in front of my yard on Halloween as a crazy old lady and say, Cookie! Cookie! You know, they would all run. You know, I'd be the spooky house on the block. Crazy old lady. So, telling you, I'm twisted. What can I say? I'm a crazy person. Subscribe. Oh, man, says Sabrina. The Puzzle Place, one of my favorites growing up. I never knew you'd been part of that also. I even remembered that character right away. Yes, she's an adorable character. I'm very proud of her. And in fact, I think I can go around the corner because I have a picture up on my wall of Jody. So let me just, for you, Sabrina, get around my camera stuff here and show you that photo. I might have it on my iPad, but this is easier for me for now. And then I will commit them to my iPad, but you can see them here. I'll just set them here and use camera 2. Hello, camera 2. Ba-bam. There you go. Here they are. Here I am. Here they are. Let's hide that so you can see me in the lower corner. But here are the pictures of me on the Puzzle Place. And here is a close-up of me with little Jody. Now, you'll notice, if you guys have watched the Muppets work, we all use this kind of a microphone. This is Jim Henson Genius. The microphone is on a headband, and it hangs over our face. That way, doesn't matter whether we're right or left-handed. We don't rub up against the microphone, making that sound, you know, because if they try to put it on you, your body, and then your hair gets in the way or all that, you just do this headband, and that takes care of it. Here I have braids on my head, so you can see it's a little different. But there's little Jody on the set of Puzzle Place, and here I am, you know, having a really terrible time doing this character. But yeah, this was great fun. And the story behind Jody, and I'll bring back Sabrina's comment. The story behind Jody and Puzzle Place is that they designed a character for me. Originally, I was just there for 2 weeks. And they liked my work, and I assisted, I assisted in all kinds of the characters and worked with a lot of the characters. And you're right, it was a terrific show. Also, the guy who does the other chicken, Drew Massey, another brilliant puppeteer, did all kinds of crazy things. We were always trying to do things like draw with a pencil with the puppets and stuff like that. So that's another thing that you guys as a group can do, is just try to do some magical stuff. I also did a show, you're going to laugh, Oral Roberts Celebration, in which I played Earlene Fudge. Yeah, the Fudge family. Don't even go there. But I also played the hands of Grandma. So my friend Greg Williams was Grandma's head, and I was Grandma's hands. And you saw how with this picture, my head, you know, you're always puppeteering like this, okay? You rarely puppeteer like this. It's up here. Okay. Sometimes when I'm telling stories to children, the puppet's right here. But most of the time on a movie set, you're up. Okay. The dinosaur set was 4 feet off the floor, and we were in trenches doing the performing, and the puppets were over our head. Okay. So in the case of of the Fudge Family, Grandma sat on the couch. I was inside the couch with Greg, and I knitted. And I learned how to knit by watching a television monitor, much like my camera is here, and knitting above my head through the couch. So could be something else she was a troupe do that would just dazzle people. All of a sudden, they would realize that that's a puppet doing it, not a real character. Because as a real character, you just look at it, right? But as a puppeteer, you've practiced a long time to be able to knit that. And she could knit. She knitted a scarf, a blanket. Yeah, she was a very favorite character of Oral Roberts' Celebration. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Pretty crazy thing. There's another story is talking about my early puppet stuff. Yeah, my early puppet stuff. I did years ago. I did a show called Welcome the Stranger, which came with a book. Maybe I'll pull that out if it's something you're curious about. And Nanny and Isaiah, and it's a Nanny and Isaiah series where Isaiah is it's a homeless family that lives in the basement of a church. Secret of the Second Basement is the name of the book. And they were hand sculpted by Dave Pavlonis. And we flew to St. Louis to shoot shows for Concordia Publishing, and they were all faith-based. A lot of fun. But we were the straight characters. And so my dear friend Bruce Lanoyle played one of my favorite characters of all time, Beezer, who was such a cute little character. And when I was doing Captain EO, I gave my set of videos to Michael Jackson. True story. Michael had just decided he didn't want to be Jehovah's Witness anymore. He wanted to just kind of enjoy holidays and stuff like that. And, there's restrictions in that religion. His parents were that way. So I gave him these videos and I said, they're puppets. Watch them, not so much for the message, although the message is very sweet and kind. Watch them for the fun characters, because Dave Pavlonis was quite a sculptor, and they were really fun. So great. And they were called, what did we used to call those characters? I'm trying to remember what they called the show. It wasn't Puzzle Place, but I'll remember. Anyway, we had a great time. We shot like 13 episodes or something. We shot a lot up at Concordia. Yeah, I don't know if they'd be on YouTube or not, but we could kind of look. That'd be interesting if they were. Yeah, I haven't seen them in a long time, because I gave my special set of VHS tapes to Michael. Michael loved them. Michael absolutely loved them. So, yeah. So, took book to St. Peter's in Olympia, going to Tacoma Children's today. So excited. Thank you. You were so sweet to order the books, and I hope they like them. Did you notice something, Catherine, that when you're in a section of children's books, they have really like bland, dull covers? What's that about? I remember when I was a kid, all the covers were like bright and colorful. I'm finding that a lot of kids really gravitate to our book because it's this bright sky blue color. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know why you wouldn't do a bright color for a children's book. Dr. Seuss always had fun colors, and Goodnight Moon was a nice blue, and I don't know. I realize that, as I sell the book in places like libraries and stuff. Squirrel, says Deanna. That's me. I'm always going off on a tangent. Yes, that's why you subscribe to my channel. You are not spamming. Stop it, Cheryl. Don't beat yourself up. I'm absolutely serious that Shawshanking is a way to get somebody to answer you in a nice way without getting angry at them. A lot of us have a lot of stuff to do. I'm very busy. So don't do that to yourself or others. No. Henry, I was just thinking about you. How are you? Congrats, as it says. Have you seen Muppet Haunted Mansion? Yes, I did. I thought it was okay. And they're definitely in the right direction. I didn't think it was good as Henson stuff, but it's missing Jim Henson. So what do you want? But it's a lot better than a lot of the stuff Disney's been putting out with Muppets. And I have to put that to Kurt Thatcher, who directed, and the writers. So it may not have been perfect in my eyes, but it definitely was a step in the right direction. So the rest of that we can talk privately, Henry. But honestly, and I loved, my friend Bruce Lanoyle played one of the characters that kept coming back, and it was such a cute character. I have to tell you that half of the reason I really enjoyed Muppet Haunted Mansion was because of that little, I think he was the mummy. But whatever those two characters were that kept coming in, they were so funny. They were so funny, cute, and adorable. They were my favorite. And not just because it was Bruce, but Bruce is a brilliant puppeteer. And they should be using Bruce a lot more than they do. Just if you're listening, Disney, you should be hiring Bruce a lot more, and you should let him collaborate with you because he's genius. He's very talented. And he might be, kind of like me, but that's passion. So hire him more because he's really funny. But that's what I thought. I loved whenever Bruce's character came on. I was just going nuts. The trams will be back in early 2022. Isn't that nice? Maybe they should have waited to raise the prices. What do you say, Janet? Anaheim is now charging $30. Exactly. And there's no trams. I'm just saying. Yep. Hello, Terry. Happy Halloween. Hello, Jacob. Happy Halloween. Angie says Star Wars, the Imagineer's Frontier. Well, I'll tell you, Star Wars was the thing that made me realize my hobby could be a career. True story. Seeing that movie, the room stretched like in Jaws. The theater stretched for me, and I watched it until I went to London, where I told London all about it because it wasn't out yet. And that'll all be in the book. So stay tuned. I am writing it. Full Circle Adventure. Oh, thank you. That's a great title. I like that. Full Circle Adventures. That's a good one, Angie. I like that one. That's a really good one. That's a good title. I'm going to remember that one. Yeah, I was about to speak at Lucasfilm up north when the pandemic hit, and we were going to call it Full Circle. Yeah. What if you can go full circle? What would you do? And sitting with George Lucas on Captain EO, he was very concerned about meeting me because he thought I was a nut, which I am, but he thought I was a nut that was kind of bleh. And he found out that I was someone who really, really took this industry seriously, and we had some really great Star Wars. You are working, Angie. We could also call it Terri Hardin, the ultimate Star Wars fan. Read more. Favorite guest star in the Muppets tonight? Did you get to meet any of them? Joan Jett. I'll never forget seeing Joan Jett. I love Joan Jett. And if you watched, I don't know if it was Muppets Tonight, but that Muppet show that was on Disney property, I think it was just called The Muppets. But it had Miss Piggy peeking through a curtain. And the thing about that show, it was kind of done like The Office. I didn't think that was a real good premise. And I also didn't like Fozzie Bear stealing and Miss Piggy or Kermit being mean. But I did love the sequence where it's called something about a tale of two piggies, I think is the title of the show. And Piggy is going to a gala and her piggy tail shows, and people start shaming her because she's a pig. And Joan Jett is part of the, hey, you don't bully people for who they are. You celebrate who they are. And the cutest thing about her was during a rest period for all of us, Dave Goelz, who does Gonzo, and, forever, Dave Goelz is Gonzo. Gonzo is Dave Goelz. Dave Goelz has been Gonzo since Gonzo was his design, and he was right next to Jim, et cetera, and best, cutest little voice. Gonzo's such a great character. I love anytime Gonzo gets involved with a bunch of balloons. I just got to watch it, and his chicken. But anyway. Dave Goelz and Joan Jett started talking about being old and how their backs hurt. So she, of course, is a rocker, and she's always bending, doing, all of that. Forgive me, Joan, for not duplicating it properly. But the two of them were talking. So Dave is in the pit resting with Gonzo, and she's up on stage kind of chilling. And they talk about how they both had bad backs. Oh, yeah, my back, blah, 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 blah. It was just adorable. It was kind of, Muppets, 21st century. Ow. It was really cute. So she was my favorite character. She was very personable, extremely lovely. And I love just sitting there and listening to the two of them talk about, being old and the challenges of being old. So that was my favorite. Thank you for asking that question, Jacob. It's a good one. You're thinking of Uncle Deadly. Yes, Paul. I love Uncle Deadly. I want to make an Uncle Deadly. I won't make Uncle Deadly, but I'd like to make my version of it. I just love him. I think he should be Dracula. He's so funny, so theatrical. I just love him. Thank you thank you for flattering me by guessing the character because I'm imitating him. But I just love him and the way that the hands. Oh, everything. And this is what I mean about a puppet. A puppet, puppeteers, I always say, have a more challenging job. You have to work with team members to make the whole puppet come to life. Or when you're doing it by yourself, all you have is this to make it happen. So it's really nice, if you're angry, if you're, sexy, it's all in one arm, not your whole body like actors have. So you are acting through your arm, which is one of the reasons I kept saying a puppeteer is by far a primary character and talented and blah, blah, blah. So yes, thank you, Paul. I love Uncle Deadly. He's become my favorite character. I love, love, love him. He is just so sweet and cute and adorable. Is the Muppet Haunted Mansion you're talking about the same as the one that was Vincent Price episode, Such a Cool Character? No, it is a new version that was done for Disney to put up on Disney Plus, and it's cute. It's cute. They do some cute stuff. It's cute. It's kind of fun, and they really do reference Haunted Mansion well. You see the doors and yeah, it's cool. It's really cool. So there are definitely some pluses. There's some minuses, but I'm going to talk about the pluses right now. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Why wait? You could just dye your hair and color like that. LOL. Just kidding. No, can't dye it white. For some reason, dreadlocks, because of the way they are, they don't. Because we tried. We really tried to dye it. And there's like a stray in here. It takes differently. See this one? So like this took, but this didn't. So it does weird stuff, it does all kinds of weird stuff. I'm trying to see if the other one, I'm looking through my hair on camera to show you if there's one that's like super bright. Might be this one right here. It's great when they're all together, but we were going to dye it white, gray, whatever. And it just absorbs it and nothing. So you have to wait for it. In fact, up here, you can see that I have the gray, but here it oxidizes to like a dirty dishwasher blonde. So you can sit and kind of cry in your coffee and say, I want to be gray and white, or you can just get over it and be happy that I don't have to color it anymore. Thank you, Jacob. Very sweet of you to make that suggestion. Hello, Connie Lane. Yes, I do. Connie Lane says, love you, Terry. Tell it like it is. Thank you for your fantastic pictures and memories. Connie, anytime. This is what Ask Me Anything Friday is for. And it can be about absolutely anything. I'm going to need to sign off in a minute here, but I want to talk. I just want to get to as many as I can. She says, I remember watching marionette performance as a child. I thought it was magic. What a joy when things are done right. Yes, I am all about 9 strings. I don't want more than 9 strings. I don't necessarily live with less than 9 strings when I'm doing a marionette. And when I first auditioned to be in a puppet course, the marionettes are what I think took me to the class because they saw, wow, this girl can really do it. But at 16, I was working with Jeannie at Genieland, a little place in Van Nuys near Southern California. And we did parties for celebrities. And I did marionettes. I also designed a show designed around marionettes. I love marionettes. And when I did the breast cancer walk from Santa Barbara to Malibu, I made a little bear puppet that I worked for 60 miles. So not only was I doing the walk, but I was doing the puppet character. He was walking with us too, and I made him walk the whole time. Sometimes he floated because I'd get tired, but most of the time he walked. And that was because I noticed there were children along the route that were bored out of their mind. And then they'd see the puppet and get all excited. So I was really glad I brought him with me. And if you want me to show him to you, I'll do that next time. You know how they show full body Kermit, let's say, where he's like sitting on a chair but still moving? How do they do that, Jacob? There's a lot of ways of doing that. Chances are he's behind the chair. Do you remember there was one time when Kermit was on a stool? They actually used a mirror system that made the stool look like it had 4 legs instead of 2, and Jim was behind there. And then you also remember in the Muppet movie when Kermit is on the log. Well, Jim was in a diving bell underneath the log in a wetsuit performing the character. So, yeah, we do all kinds of. Well, if you watch Dinosaurs, there's a great scene. There's a great picture, if I can find it, of me and Brian because we're doing Baby Sinclair getting potty trained, and we're inside a toilet. So we're down inside the toilet, me and Brian, performing the character. So puppeteers are in the weirdest of places. The sequence in the Muppet movie when that cute little car is bear right, right frog. You know what I mean? That bear left, right frog. That's the line. And there's a, turn at the fork in the road, and there's a fork in the road. Don't you love the Henson days? Anyway, the puppeteers were in the vehicle, the Studebaker, while the person who was the driver had a monitor system and he was inside the trunk. So in the case of the Foster Farms chickens, we have a young lady, if you've ever seen the Foster Farms chickens. If you don't know what I'm talking about because you live back east or you're anywhere that side, east of the Mississippi, these are West Coast commercials, but you can see them on YouTube. Foster imposters. So Foster, like Foster Farms, imposters, and you can see them all. Or just go to my channel and look for the Foster Imposters playlist because I have as many of the commercials as I can so you can see them from YouTube. I've gathered them in one place and you can watch that playlist. But they drive in a Belvedere car. And what we do is when we're the two chickens in the car looking to find Foster Farms, we have a girl who is a stunt driver and she's only about 4.5 feet tall. So she squeezes in there with us, driving the car and looking at the phone poles outside to make sure the car is straight. This is the magic of people who know their craft. Okay, stunt people are amazing. I always thought if I was going to be an actor and I was going to do stunts, I'd ask a stuntman to do it because stunt people have trained all their lives how to fall, how to be safe, how to take care of their bodies. And I'm an actor. So I'm really an advocate for letting an actor have a stuntman. I'd have a stunt person. I mean, I could do little stuff meaning, reaction. But like in Downton Abbey, when the actress is riding side saddle, she has a stunt woman that does the long rides and she rides in and she rides out. That's kind of, because your actors, if they get hurt, you're in a mess. And stunt people are so good at what they do that it's really, I really think that, I mean, I know you're Tom Cruise and you want to do it all yourself and goody for you. That's great. But I hope you're looking, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you are, Tom, talking to stunt people on how to keep you safe. Because stunt people have done it all their lives. I used to be married to a stunt man, and he used to just do all kinds of crazy stuff. You're a stunt man, you just love to fall and do the impossible. So, So I hope that helps. Sitting in a chair, they're behind the chair. As you saw that picture I showed you of me behind the high chair, I'm actually got my head against the high chair. Kevin has come up in front of me doing the head, and I'm doing baby's arms, and I'm behind the high chair, and then they cover me with a blanket. Yeah. So yeah. Sometimes I watch Hallmark Houston movies. To be honest with you, Jacob, I don't watch a lot of TV. I've been trying to see the Jungle Cruise movie because you don't have to pay extra on Disney Plus, and I can't find 2 hours to just sit and watch it because I actually have to watch it. So I run things in the background I know so well that I can play them in my head because I'm so busy. So that's kind of the way I work. So Downton Abbey and Ted Lasso are two of those that are in my head. So that's what I watch a lot. Not Scary Farms had the adult human show Puppet Up. Yes. Crazy, fun, talented group. Yep. Yes, they are. And they tend to be Bug Eyes and Pie Plate, don't they? Yep. So like I said, design characters that are yours. Shawshank, check your PMs for the picture. You're a rock star. There you go. As a professional puppeteer, I would like to talk to you about innovation in filming puppets. Please advise. Yes. Filming puppets is a fun thing to do, but I would take it from Jim. I'd put monitors on sticks. I'd put monitors on the ground. The number one tool that a puppeteer needs when you're filming puppeteers are monitors. And it's the one thing that many productions want to not have. They don't want to have a guy looking and changing your monitor. And as a puppeteer, you got to fight for that monitor so you can see what the camera sees. If they try, here's what happens if they don't let you have a monitor and see what the camera sees. You put your puppet up and they go a little bit left. No, left. Yes, they're doing their left, not your left. Yet, you see what I'm saying? Instead of puppets up, and then you perform because you can see what the camera sees. So I always tell people, do not let people talk you out of your monitor. Television monitor is a little screen that shows you what the camera sees. So as I look at the camera, I can see what you're seeing on Facebook because I'm looking right at the camera, and I have a monitor that shows me when I'm in frame. And when I'm out of frame, like here, hand's not in frame. Here, hand's not in frame. And if you can't see a monitor to say your hand's not in frame, how are you going to see what my hands are doing? Right? That's what I say right away from filming. Make sure your puppeteers get rest, and make sure the puppets are light. If the puppets can be lightweight, you're going to get performances out of puppets like crazy. So, Stephen, you got to join our Zoom call, and you got to ask those questions because, Stephen, you are a member of Terry's tribe. So, Dennis Ritchie, what up? Hello. I'm so glad you did. I'm missing you, buddy. I'm coming out to Anaheim to teach a class tomorrow. So if you want to pop over, just PM me and I'll give you the address. I'd love to see your smiling face. Henson would have done this. Henson, I mean, that headband is genius, right? That's Frank Oz and Jim. Yeah. And having it here, again, keeps the crackle from happening because we are looking to see where our puppet so we don't rub this. Okay? So smart. That's another tool that you ought to duplicate, right? You learn from the masters. This is the next level. Exactly. All right, everyone, it's 11:13. I have gone 13 longer than I wanted to because I needed to stop at 11. I do have to go back to thinking pumpkins, and I do have to get ready for my class tomorrow. And I have several things I've got to do before it happens. So I'm going to send you my love and my hugs. If you're interested in the class, please go to terrihardin.com and check it out. If you're interested in Haunted Mansion pins, merchandise, go to my website and click on online store and you can shop around there. It wasn't cuff you, but you might find something you like. And also sign up at the website. I can't really spam you or Shawshank you because I'm still trying to figure out how to reach out to you. I did one email that somebody taught me how to do to talk about the book. And that's been the first email in years. So please sign up so you can learn more because I'm being taught as I go along. Being an old dog, social media is a challenge. And I don't know that it's less of a challenge than it was as you saw me navigate my cameras like this. This is because I have an amazing husband who understands I've got I'm a little 5-year-old. And that way I can say, hey, check it out. Look, I can switch cameras. Whoop, whoop. But it's because I've got a switcher that just makes things nice and easy and I look very professional, right? So anyway, happy Halloween, everyone. If you're doing a costume, you're decorating your house, you're doing something spectacular, do as you've heard here from Cheryl, PM me and let me see, or tag me and I'll look at you on your favorite platform of choice, Facebook, Instagram, etc. Okay? I love you guys. Please do something nice. What is your website? A good question. How about I put it up for you? www.terrihardin.com. Oh, it's a hard one to remember. If you're someone who thinks you're going to be doing this, grab your domain, your name domain. They're not very expensive, but catch your name, okay? Because I can tell you there's a lot of other Terri Hardins out there. Some are men. So you want to make sure that you get yours. Yeah, absolutely. Good question. Good question, Lynn. So there you go. Sabrina says, I know a lot of people who use Constant Contact for email blasts. Yes, they do. In fact, my friend Sharon does. So, but you still got to learn it. So right now I am sculpting my little hiney off. So I am like, boy, it would be great for someone to do that for me at some point. Have them as an assistant, but that's in the future. Maybe next year. I'll be able to do that, is hire someone as my assistant just to get my social media together. It would really be a nice gift for me. Anyway, I love you guys. Do something nice for someone else. It'll help you feel so much better. It'll make you feel, when you're in that road to depression, you take it off of you. You do something nice for someone. It doesn't have to involve money. A phone call to a friend you haven't heard from in a long time, or connecting with someone like Paul, David, Cheryl, everyone, Sabrina, everyone out there. So I love you guys. Be cool. And have a very, very happy Halloween. Bye for now, guys. Be well, be safe. On Monday, I'll show you what the class did, okay? Woo!